In 1926, F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote that the rich are different from you and me. Ernest Hemingway famously replied, "Yes, they have more money." I think this exchange perfectly captures the two competing views on money and those who have it. Some believe that the rich have some innate quality that separates them from the rest of us, while others hold the more cynical view that the rich were just lucky or had an advantaged upbringing. Obviously, if you inherited your wealth and did nothing to amplify what you received, then you fall into the latter camp. But if someone started with nothing and built their wealth, that doesn't happen by standing still. There are things they did that catapulted them to that status. The vast majority of millionaires fall into this category. According to a study conducted by Fidelity Investments, 88% of millionaires are self-made. Some people will look at that statistic and be angered by it because it casts a harsh spotlight on them if they haven't achieved that milestone. But I look at it the opposite way. That statistic says to me that you don't need a silver spoon in your mouth to make it. It certainly was the case for me. I am an immigrant and grew up in a very low-income area of New York City. In my early 20s, I was bad at managing money and was in six-figure debt, but I climbed my way out and am now a multi-millionaire. So I have been poor and I have been rich. I can personally see how differences in my mindset and actions led me from poverty to affluence. I am going to share 9 of the most important ones. Let's get into it. Number 1, the rich believe they are not ordinary. No one is going to move up the economic ladder if they believe they are destined to stay where they are. Your mindset is going to dictate your actions. If you have a negative mindset and believe you are incapable of achieving financial success or are just happy to stay where you are, then you will never become rich. So you need to believe that you are not ordinary. You need to understand that if you follow the pack, you will get no further than that pack. You need to have unshakable confidence that you are destined for more. That's just table stakes. Number 2, the rich do not trade time for money. When I was younger, I did not fully understand the value of time. It seemed limitless, but now that I am older, I realize that time is the single biggest constraint that we face in life. Everything is subordinate in value to time. And if you are trading your time for money, you are going to be naturally limited in how much you can make. For example, if you get paid $20 per hour and work an 8-hour day, then the most you can make in a day is $160. Even if you work 365 days a year, you will only make $58,400. But if you own a business, you can make far more than that because the sky's the limit. If you strike on the right idea and offer a great product or service, your sales from that product can generate millions. This is called scalability, and the rich understand that this is how you make real money. Number 3, the rich believe that only actions lead to results. The rich understand that wealth is generally achieved only through action. They do not believe in words because anyone can talk a good game. They believe in preparation, planning, and persistence. So if you are waiting for the lottery to hit, or dream of becoming wealthy but are not taking concrete steps to get there, you will always be dreaming and waiting. Number 4, the rich do not make excuses. Everyone fails. Any meaningful goal, especially one that is as valuable and difficult to achieve as becoming rich, is going to have setbacks and failures along the way. The rich understand this, and they do not make excuses when failure happens. Instead, they learn not to repeat the mistake that caused the failure. But if you are constantly looking for excuses, you will never get anywhere because an excuse places the blame on someone or something that is outside your control. Excuses make you weak and put you in a position of powerlessness. The rich understand that no one gets rich by blaming others. Instead, take full responsibility for your failures, learn from your mistakes, and start blasting through obstacles as they come. Number 5, the rich take measured risks. You've all heard the old saying, nothing ventured, nothing gained. The rich know that returns and risk go hand in hand, and they understand that risk is an unavoidable part of making money. That being said, you cannot be reckless in your investments or you will lose your shirt. So you need to understand what risks are involved in an investment or business enterprise and find ways to manage those risks down to an acceptable level. This could include diversifying your investments, finding experienced and capable managers to oversee your business interests, or connecting with mentors who can expertly guide you through rough patches. Number 6, the rich understand how money works. The rich are often obsessed with learning how money works. To be clear, the rich have diverse interests just like everyone else, such as sports, music, movies, and so on. But self-made millionaires all tend to have a common thread when it comes to learning about money. That's because they understand that better knowledge leads to greater wealth, especially in this fast-paced information age. Whether it is learning about money-making strategies, finding ways to intelligently control expenses, or understanding taxes and estate planning, the wealthy are committed to constantly educating themselves on ways to maximize and strengthen their financial position. Number 7. The rich take the long view. I have a relative that seems to always be making poor decisions, and this has led to a gradual downward spiral in their life. What's sad is that they are smart, kind, and a wonderful person overall. But they always seem to be reacting to life and making decisions based on solving short-term issues. But this is a recipe for financial disaster. The wealthy take a longer-term view. They may sacrifice in the short term by living below their means and investing the money in good investments. They know that in 10 or 15 years, their long-term view will pay off. Here's an interesting example of what true long-term planning looks like. I know of one finance executive who took a pay cut to take on a role that they felt was needed to fill in a gap in their resume. It seemed counterintuitive and definitely carried short-term penalties. But they had the long view in mind. That executive eventually became CFO of the company because they had a complete skill set and body of experience, which would not have been the case if they hadn't taken on that role. Number 8. The rich use leverage. In the financial world, leverage is the use of other people's money to amplify returns. In most cases, this means debt, although it could come in other forms. How does this work? Let's take real estate as a simple example. If you buy a $100,000 house with cash and rent it out for $1,000 per month, you will generate a 12% return in 1 year just on the cash flow. If the property goes up in value by 3%, or $3,000, over that same year, you will have a combined return of 15%. Of course, I am oversimplifying here because there will be additional costs associated with operating a rental property, like property taxes and repairs, but let's use these numbers for the sake of simplicity. Now, if you buy that same house with an 80% mortgage, you only put down $20,000. If you rent it out for $1,000 and pay $800 in mortgage payments, you will have $2,400 a year in cash flow. You will still have the same $3,000 increase in value as in the prior example. But instead of a 15% combined return, you have a 27% combined return because you only put $20,000 down. That's the power of leverage. Number 9. The rich do not care what others think. When I first started my wealth journey, I made a lot of mistakes. I could tell that some people secretly celebrated when I failed. When I told people about the things I was trying, many subtly rolled their eyes or made demeaning comments like, "Let me know how that works out for you." But I really didn't care. I guess it goes back to the first point I made about believing that you are destined for more. I knew these same people would be in the exact same place 20 years from now. I knew I wouldn't. The rich don't care what others think because they don't want or need the approval of people they know they will surpass in time. Now, I know that sounds arrogant, but you need to have this type of confidence if you are going to go anywhere. So there you have it. 9 ways that the rich are different from the poor and some tips on how you can use this knowledge to achieve financial success. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons. It helps a ton and really motivates me to continue to create great content. Thanks for watching.